Hi, it's Larry here of Xbox Live's Major Analysis. I'm here with Albert Pinello from the Xbox marketing team to talk about Xbox One and setting it up. It's really easy, and we're here today to show you a little bit about how to do it and get through it and maybe answer some questions for you, right, Albert?
Sounds good.
All right, where do we get started?
Well, I think a lot of people are going to be getting an Xbox One for Christmas this year.
Yep.
And with all the new 4K televisions and all the new technologies out, we thought it'd be a good opportunity to take people through some of the basics of setting up their console, their environment, and then how to get started running on the televisions that they've got.
And I want to point out we have an Xbox One S here and an Xbox One X. The setup is very similar. We'll tell you some of the differences later on, so let's get started.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to build all the port locations and everything to be the same, so much of the feedback that we'll be giving to people will work for both consoles.
Okay.
But I think we got the Xbox One X started here, so we'll start there.
Okay.
The basic thing to start with is just good cable management, as we talk about. With entertainment systems these days, with the data rates of cables, people tend to want to wind them up, wind them around the console. So just making sure that all of your cables, your power cable, your HDMI cable, are all set up cleanly. You can, believe it or not, get interference with these cables that can affect your picture, other things. So just practice good cable management would be step one.
I also want to point out is with each of the consoles, we do include an HDMI cable, and there may be a desire to use one that you've already got connected to your TV, and that may not be a good idea.
Yeah, that's a great piece of feedback, particularly if you're going to be connecting these to a 4K TV. There's a belief out there that these HDMI cables are all the same, but in fact, that's not true. There are cables that are high-speed rated cables for 4K, and we have included a 4K rated HDMI cable in every Xbox, the original Xbox One S and Xbox One X. So particularly if you're hooking up to a 4K TV, we suggest we use the cable that comes with the console or a high-speed rated cable.
Well, it's also important to point out that if you look along the back of the Xbox One S and the back of the Xbox One X, the cable, the ports are in identical locations.
We do know that people will be upgrading from an Xbox One S to an Xbox One X. If you're doing that, you probably already have your console set up in your entertainment center or in your living room or your bedroom somewhere. And in that case, all you really have to do is remove and replace. Whatever you have connected, just take it out, connect it up to the new console. Your cables, everything works.
We talked about the power and the HDMI. We've also got some USB ports and a audio outback here. Let's talk about those.
In both the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X support USB 3.0. USB 3.0 is required for external hard drives, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We also have a port dedicated in the back specifically for Kinect.
Okay.
So we don't recommend that people hook up their Kinects to the front of the console. It won't work.
Okay.
So there's a specific port back there. Otherwise, hard drives, charging ports, anything else that you want to plug in will work in any of the USB 3 ports.
Yeah, we talked about the USB ports in the back. We also have one on the front. And also on the front here, we've got some additional buttons and some ports. I want to talk about that. Can we do that?
Well, yeah. The first one is binding. We know a lot of people play multiplayer games. The controller that came with the console should be bound automatically.
When you say bind, that means it's like this controller knows to work with that console, not that one.
That's right.
And similar, right?
The wireless radio in the controller is synced with the wireless radio in the console. So right out of the box,
they work.
You put batteries and everything works. If you're adding an additional console, there is a bind button on the front of the consoles that you press and hold. You press and hold the Xbox button, and that will will sync up.
Go through the binding process. And you can bind up to 8 controllers.
That's right.
You can bind up to 8 controllers. But again, if you have an additional controllers, or perhaps you have an Elite and you want to get it connected to your new console, it takes its moments.
Seconds.
And of course, there's another button over here, and that is the disc eject
button. For those using discs.
For those using discs, and you got your game disc put in there, of course you want to eject it. Sometimes play a different game. Now, it's really important to point out is that we've covered a lot. All you need to do is go to support.xbox.com. There is a wealth of information over there, a lot of what we covered, and even more to get yourself a little bit of help. Now, once you're ready to turn on the console, what do you need to do?
Well, we've really streamlined the out-of-box experience. So if you're the first-time console user, you will have to go have an Xbox account, either an Xbox Live account or a Microsoft account that you'll need to input. So we recommend people go online and get their passwords. If not, you can do all of that through the system when you first start up.
I want to talk about, when you get it home, you want to make sure either if you're wired, put this in your wired network, or you want to get this on your wireless network, because there's probably going to be a system update. And of course, that's how you can play your online games. The console has wireless built in.
That's right.
And of course, it has the network port in the back if you want to go wired, right?
Correct. Yeah, we support both. For people that are upgrading, we have many mechanisms to speed that process up. If you're coming from an Xbox One S to an Xbox One X, we support transfer through the network. You can re-download everything. The method that I recommend to people personally is to get an external hard drive. We have a fantastic experience that allows you to plug an external hard drive into your current console, basically backs up all your games, backs up all your data. You plug it into the new console.
Sign in and you're ready to go.
Shaves, potentially hours off of the experience to re-download everything, and the console's yours immediately. And we have over 90 enhanced titles as of today and over 160 coming. So there's a great library of games on top of the fact that all the games that you already own and all the accessories that you already own work, and in many cases play better on an Xbox One X.
Now, with the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X, they're both 4K capable consoles, but you need to do a few things to make sure you're optimizing your experience.
Yeah, there's two things we want to show people how to use. The first is how to make sure that the console is connected properly to their 4K TV, and the second one will be how to get the best potential picture quality.
Can you show us?
So the first thing you do is you pull up the guide.
So press the guide button.
Press the guide button and go over to settings.
Okay,
that'll bring up settings. Go to display and sound, and video output.
All right.
So the two I'd like to focus on now is Calibrate HDTV and Advanced Video Settings. Let's start with Advanced Video Settings. We talked earlier about the fact that with these new 4K TVs, they can be very sensitive to cable management and how your system is set up. And we've provided a tool that allows customers to make sure that the console and the TV are talking to each other properly. In this case, we've teed it up to show what it'll look like when something's wrong. And in this case, we've gone into 4K details, and you see that it says your TV supports 4K, but there's a lot of errors and a lot of alerts.
Sure.
And there's a couple of things that users can do to make sure that they get all the green check marks all the way through. The first, as we said earlier, is make sure that you've got the right HDMI cable. The second is your receiver or your amplifier. Many people set up their console to connect to an amplifier and then to the TV. If that's an older amplifier, it may not actually pass through the 4K data. And so that can be a reason why you might get some of these errors. In the case of HDR, we're finding that many TVs don't have HDR on by default. So we're recommending customers go online or contact their manufacturer to find out how to enable HDR on the TV side. Once they've done all that, what they should see is something that looks more like this. Which is my TV and my console are talking to each other. If you have any questions, if you're not sure if there's something else in your system in the way, I will always suggest that people connect it directly to the TV for their first setup, or to troubleshoot to make sure that the TV and the console are talking to each other.
All right, Albert, so now that I have the green check marks, what's next?
Well, I like to make sure that people are getting the best picture quality they possibly can out of the television. And the team has put in a really neat feature called Calibrate HDTV. And essentially, this is a very simple step-by-step process that people can do to make sure that brightness, contrast, color, aspect ratio, and all of those things are properly set up to get the optimum picture quality.
Because those are display dependent. Every TV has different settings, and this will help you match up the input signal to what the panel can display.
This makes sure that what you're seeing coming out of the Xbox is exactly what the developer intended in terms of color and brightness and contrast.
Great.
And I highly recommend people play around with this. It's one of my favorite utilities, and every time I take someone through it, they're always amazed at how much better their TV looks when we're done.
So Albert, now that I have my TV set up and everything's optimal, I've got my content, my games. How do I make sure that they're ready to go?
Well, the first thing you want to go to is right down here, just one step down from home, which is My Games and Apps. And that's the home for all of your games, different applications, Netflix, YouTube, as well as other subscriptions and memberships that you might have on the consoles. This is the home for all of your content.
Now, I noticed over here, we've got a neat filter, and this will show me, this is everything that's installed right now. This will show me the titles that have been enhanced for Xbox One X.
Well, yeah, we now support 3 generations of consoles. We support original Xbox back compat, Xbox 360 back compat, Xbox One, and then now Xbox One X enhanced, which are the games that are designed to take advantage of all the power performance of the Xbox One X. So this filter is great if you want to see what back compat titles you have, if you want to see what games you might already own that are going to be taking advantage of the new console. The Xbox Xbox One X Enhanced filter is a great place to see what content you might already own that's ready to be enhanced.
So, Albert, those are the games that I've downloaded. What about the ones that I haven't downloaded yet?
Well, in this case, you got an incredible library of games that aren't actually on the console right now, which is called Ready to Install. And as you're thinking about prioritizing what things you want to install directly to your console, this filter also applies. So if I want to see what games I own that I don't have on the console right now that are enhanced or as new 360 back compat games show up on the service, this is how you can see all of your enhanced games.
So, Albert, I see in my library that these games have been Xbox One enhanced, but how do I make sure that the ones that I haven't downloaded automatically are downloaded and enhanced?
Yeah, that's a great question because we're providing these Xbox One X enhanced updates free to our customers. Make sure that you have your console set to accept automatic updates. That's the best way to do it. If your system is accepting automatic updates, as soon as the developer puts the new bits up with the Xbox One X enhanced features, it will show up and automatically download, even if your console's set in standby. So you're always going to make sure that you have the newest bits and the best versions of the games if you have automatic updates installed.
Just need to go to Settings, System, Updates, and then make sure these two are checked.
Exactly right.
Albert, I have my Xbox One X. Maybe some of my games are enhanced. I know that I can go to xbox.com/enhanced to see the big titles, but when I'm over here on the console, where do I go?
Well, certainly if you're new to Xbox and you're getting the console for the first time, you probably don't have any games. So the first place we'd recommend people going to is our store.
Okay.
From there, you can browse the entire category of games that are available on Xbox, be it, AAA blockbuster titles or indie games. You can purchase movies through our store, as well as a variety of different subscription services that we offer. We have a bunch of different categories that you can sort by, but the entire library of Xbox One games, as well as our back-compatible titles, are all available on the Xbox store.
But I can also see a special filter for Xbox One X enhanced titles, so I can kind of go through here and decide what games I want to see to show off my new console.
Exactly.
Albert, we talked about a lot of things, and it can be complicating, a little confusing, but we have a feature in the console called Xbox Assist, which will help you out, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the console does a lot. I mean, we've only just touched the surface in talking about how to set it up. But beyond gaming, there are so many multimedia capabilities, broadcasting capabilities. There's just a wide variety of things that the console can do. And so essentially, Xbox Assist is there to help give people a tutorial on the console.
I see.
So before you call in, before you go online, we actually have a tool on the console that'll answer questions, provide tutorials, and sort of walk you through all of the things that the Xbox One system does.
So there's a lot of videos here, and there's all sorts of resources. So if you don't have your laptop or your tablet or your phone in front of you, you can sit here and kind of things will help you get some tips, fix some things, and then ultimately will allow you to search for some help and really make sure you're having the best gaming experience possible on Xbox One.
Yeah, it's an amazing tool for people who are just getting started on the system to understand how to get the most out of their console.
Great, Albert. I want to thank you for sitting down and kind of showing us how to get things set up for your Xbox One S or your Xbox One X. And more importantly, if you have more questions, you can go to support.xbox.com. Thanks for watching.